May 2nd by just about 45 minutes, 12:45 at night. So I'm just going to try and recap what I was doing in the video and talking about in the video. I think it was the 25th, April 25th, when we went out for our walk. So we'd been inside. Oh, and this is the video that spawned the whole most recent coming out of the closet, owning my SD card, the gang, and the library REI hack through my camera and all this stuff by a Habitat mom. So, and these videos have been lifted off both my phones. They've been just lifted out, completely gone. So obviously these dickheads really don't want this out there, so let's put it out there. So what we were doing, we were in the house, felt pretty good. I was expecting trouble from the gang because I had gotten the SD cards. It was Thursday, so I was expecting the weekend games to start. I went out, I noticed that there was a false wasp infection. So I've caught them before last summer. They put out some kind of bait and then it will attract the wasps. The university next door does bug research. I talked about how the fact that wasps always have been around us, but they weren't mean. Very next infestation, I guess it was the weird ones with these different kind of little wasps. So I have this bug spray that I make. So I went out, it's the middle of the day, it's like 10:30 in the morning or something. I'm like, fuck you. So I chase their wasps off in the middle of the day. And then, they're always recording me. They're always recording me around here. So, so I'm like, ha ha, yeah. And then I come in, I see the dumb thing is like empty and no one's recording. I'm like, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to accidentally catch that on video. I said, and have that accidentally get uploaded. I said, because chasing off a wasp infection in the middle of the day in broad daylight is actually a big deal. But it's a really super quiet big deal so that they can cover it up. So then we're out there, and then Gimpy guy drives by in his silver car racing up towards front. I think of him as one of the runners. So before there was texting and everything, it appears as though it was a lot of note passing. And there was, in fact, in the beginning of 2015, one of the things that they threatened me with was they'd have this guy running around early in the morning, dropping off this little flyer in the special people's mailboxes, as if it's a newspaper, but it wasn't a newspaper because it'd only go to like 5 or 10 houses. But he'd make so much noise because he had like no muffler on, so he'd be like, and I could hear him driving all over town and exactly which house he would stop at. And when he'd come by me, because I'd be walking my dog early in the morning then, it was puppy time, he'd just stare, and I was like, oh, note passing. So that's because in the small towns, they have this little one sheet, but the in the know people get a special delivery of an early paper. Every morning they would get it. It's like the bulletin. So the real bulletin comes out before the newspaper bulletin. Ha, ha, ha. So, that morning, so our runner, Gimpy guy, who I actually got on interview and confirmed that, yes, he's the Walmart guy, yeah. And he got fired from Walmart, so obviously was not a very good Walmart guy. So we chased their creepy wasps off, and that is, and then I talked about the boxy 1970s cars and how they must all belong to the same gang, and then Walmart dude, and then a van came out from that alley behind Jacobson's house in that trailer alley. I'm like, oh, and it was a weird van too, and I didn't recognize, but I noted its logo and stuff. So then when we walked out just about 5 minutes after that, my dog followed a smell from my porch out across the road down into the alley where the van had come out of, down the alley. I'm like, oh, look at this. I said, and look at that. There's that little ugly blue car of Tool Lady, and it is down there at, so-and-so's house by the park. Look at that. one of the monitors that's literally followed me all the fuck over town. And oh, and I talked about how she did that piercing at the Ren Fair and how it's a family affair. And I was super pissed off because my kid was young. And she had like pierced a cape to some dude. So he's naked and it's all these fresh piercings with his black bat cape. And I was like, doink, 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 with blood all down it. So it's naked skin, black bat wing thing pierced through it. And I found out that it really was her because at that point there was not very many piercing places. I think she was the only piercer doing it. It was like before piercing became popular, and there was like a lot of shops and stuff. And I asked. I asked who did that. I was like, oh, dang. So yeah, so her twin kid, and so then we're walking down. So my dog wants to go right down there, and yep. And it's not just Tool Lady, but it's like a whole coffee clutch. And then it turns out to be a whole coffee clutch from Idaho. And Idaho is where I think the bug people come from, the wasp people come from, the infestation people come from. And so I'm like, well, look at that. And it's the very gang with the boxy cars. And I'm like, well, look at that, look at that. And I'm just chatting it up on my video, and the city had their own coffee clutch going on, looks like at the library, over the library internet thing, which is what comes through and hacks my camera on that hack that I wrote down and turned in. So all this is going on just like boom, boom, boom. I'm coming out, I'm seeing stuff, I'm recording it, I'm saying it. The dog's picking it up, so obviously the dog and me can't plot. That's just his nose picking up what's going on. We go down, we see the right people, they're all clustered together. I'm like, their live stream didn't work out. The one nasty Tool Lady's like, food stamp day! Food stamps tomorrow or food stamps this afternoon. With her fucking smoky, fucking beat to shit diaphragm. I'm like, thanks. Yeah. Then I go into the park and I make a recap of what went on. And so, yeah, those videos are just totally lifted out. Totally lifted out. And if I think of anything else that I said in that video that I think that these guys won't like having, and that's what they were busy preventing from uploading, then I'm going to talk about that too. Oh yeah, and the dude that, I'm not even going to say your name, but you were on my Twitter, and you're busy making the bathrobe videos, because I take the bathrobe videos, and you were doing all this wacky stuff, and then your videos showed up in my messages, piggybacking on my messages. I think you live down in San Bernardino, which is one of the gangbangers that sit on my block. Long hair. Eat that for a fucking banana.